appear for the exam. It's just that whenever you're planning to apply, yeah, your application date should be within the 5 years bracket, and that's usually very manageable. So even if you, let's say, do not plan to apply for the deferred MBA during your fourth year, you can still give the exam in fourth year and apply for B schools, let's say after WorkX. So that's completely fine. And who can give it? Yeah, it's open to all, and it is open throughout the year. So there is no fixed date to giving the GMAT exam. You can just register for it, give it on your own time at at whichever date you are comfortable with. So it's available throughout the year, and you can give multiple attempts as well. So last I was aware, it is like in total you can give 8 attempts and 5 attempts within 1 year. And the each attempt should be spaced at least by 16 days. So that is the bare minimum criteria that is there for GMAT. Any other thing that you want to cover, Joy, about the GMAT exam?
Yeah, I have question regarding GMAT. We'll be covering it throughout the session. So
Yeah,
moving on to the next question. Uh, so, okay. So this was the format of GMAT. There's a glitch over there. So yeah. So matlab, can you basically describe this structure of GMAT for the students who don't know about it, and matlab, what are the sections? What are the syllabus covered in GMAT? Uh,
sure. So I think, yes, as you can see, the GMAT current edition, new edition consists of 3 sections, each scored out of 90, each of 45 minutes, and giving this gives you a total score out of 805. So that is the total structure. As you can see, data insights is a section that consists of 20 questions. Verbal is 23 questions, and quant is 21 questions. And anything in, let's say, I'll go section by section. So firstly, in quant, all the math that you require is basically high school math, nothing beyond that. Uh, all questions are, let's say, problem solving. So you are given a question, and then you have 5 options, out of which you have to choose one answer. So, and for concepts, I referred to a book called the Nova Bible for quant, which, like, I basically selected my topics which I wanted to review, and I, started my prep through that. I gave almost like 5 days to it, and yeah, that is how I brushed my concepts. But at the same time, if you want to brush, let's say, a number properties, number systems, coordinate geometry, there are definitely enough and more YouTube videos available. You just have to type it out on YouTube, and you will be able to find that. There is one channel, Vizaco, which also has good GMAT quant content. So that is how I prepped for quant. In terms of practice, I majorly followed the official guides, both the normal one as well as the GMAT advanced one for quant, and that was more than sufficient. But to do my sets in the timed manner, I went to the gmatclub.com, and it has a section called the forum quiz, where you can curate your own quizzes, and this is valid for across all 3 sections: data insights, verbal, and quant. You can curate your own quizzes and or your own sources and your own topics, and you can practice those in a very time manner. So I utilize that thoroughly, and yeah, that is available for 7 days without any fees, and for like a subscription cost around $1,600. So that is majorly it regarding quant. In verbal, I took some help from a test prep provider, Catamount Labs, which basically helped me cover all the concepts related to critical reasoning and reading comprehension. So I'll tell you what exactly are these 2 question types. So let's say, uh, in critical reasoning, you are again given a prompt, and then you have to you are again, like, you are given a like kind of a 3-liner statement, and then you are given a prompt, and then you are given 5 options from which you have to select one answer. And uh, I'll give you one example. So let's say there is a statement where some assumption is being made and uh, something is being concluded which requires certain assumption. So your question might ask that, okay, so what is the assumption that is necessary to conclude the argument, or which of one of the facts can actually refute the argument that is being made. So those sort of questions are there, but you like to understand what types of questions usually are there in critical reasoning, like is it goal plan or is it something else. I like religiously followed whatever was taught by the test prep provider, Catamount Labs. So that was in critical reasoning, and similarly in reading comprehension, it's very similar to something that's there in CAT exam. You are given a passage, then you have 3-4 questions surrounding that passage, and yeah, that's majorly it. And there used to be one another type of questions which is sentence correction, which was there in the old GMAT. Now that is removed, which is a significant respite for all the like especially the IIT candidates, because that is something that used to take up like 80% of our preparation time. So I think that is removed, and so that you can crunch your preparation time significantly. Like even if you're like let's say in your student life, you can actually give the GMAT focus one attempt within 3 or 4 weeks as well, if you are confident about your practice and all. So the concept understanding time is actually reduced significantly uh, in the newer edition. And finally, data insights. So if you are aware of the integrate the IR section basically in the old edition, this is essentially that plus the DS questions from Quant. It's like quite difficult to cover all like different types of questions, but essentially what it means, like you must have given some placement tests and all. Uh, it gives you some data, you have to interpret it, and there are questions surrounding that data. So let's say you are given a graph, and you have to like answer the question surrounding that graph. So let's say some volumes are given, some growth trends are given, and you have to identify like if the current growth trend continues, which one is the likely to be the highest sales, like something like that. So it's very like all the questions are very intuitive if you are able to understand what is being given in the data. So yeah, those are the three aspects. For across all three aspects, the timing is very critical to manage across all sections. So that is why I would suggest to practice each of the questions in a time manner thoroughly, and for which I can again, like I'm again re-emphasizing, you can use forum quiz on the GMAT Club website. Yeah, so that is broadly it across three sections. Anything that I missed covering that is very obvious and I should have covered? Joy?
Yeah, matlab, basically you covered all the things. I think. If Ameya, matlab, would you like to add something to it? If there is something which was left.
No, no. I think Rohan covered all the points, and I think definitely big difference between the previous edition and the new edition is the removal of sentence correction, which was tougher. So I think what Rohan says makes sense. If you are aiming to give it within 3 or 4 weeks, also you should give an attempt. So yeah, that is really helpful. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Nothing to add from my side as such. It was
Okay.
pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. So then we should move forward to the next question, I guess. What
Sure.
are yeah, these are the things we covered, and what are the skills they do assess us on? We discussed the sections which were taken in GMAT, and
I,
what are they trying to assess us on?
I think uh, the most critical skill to have is analytical skills, which is quite common across all JE candidates. So that is not something that I'm worried about. The thing that I would be worried about is the accuracy, because sometimes we have.
Rohan, actually, you are mute.
Okay, so
Uh,
from when was I muted?
just like 5 seconds ago, you suddenly
Okay,
got mute.
sure, sure, sure. So I was saying that analytical skills I am not very worried about, but like the skill to conquer the most, especially in the focus edition, would be the accuracy, because we tend to develop a habit of inaccuracy during, like, let's say JE, because we are sure that we have to only solve, let's say, 60 or 70% of the all the questions. But that is not the case here. You have to be like almost 100% accurate. At least in quant and DI, you should ensure that you get all the 20 and 21 questions correct. Only then you can ensure a very high score on the exam. Usually during my time as well, what I encountered was, let's say, any set of 10 questions I'm doing, I'm getting
Yeah.
repeatedly muted for some reason. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying that you have to essentially, when you practice, you have to ensure that you get all questions correct. And the only way to do is do this is okay. Can you disable like uh, granting mute SS, because it's like repeatedly getting muted.
क्या मतलब अभी? Okay, मतलब we should move forward. नहीं ऐसा. Maybe I should. क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं?
Okay, someone just remove me from the meeting. I'm not sure what's happening.
Who is doing this? भाई? मत करो यार. Manage permissions. एक minute. It's for a second. I'll just share. Look. Okay. Uh, I think we should continue. मैं तब तक manage वो क्या
Okay.
कहते हैं? Settings manage
You can
करता हूँ.
see if you are able to make Rohan presenter or something,
हाँ.
and the rest of them attendees ऐसा कुछ. But yeah, otherwise also मतलब people if I mean हम session के लिए आए हैं तो attend कर लेते हैं, सुन लेते हैं. If you don't want to attend, then you can leave if you want. But he's giving really helpful tips, so let's just listen to him.
Okay.
We can't see your screen, Joy, if you are presenting.
Okay. I'll be doing 1 minute bus. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Fine.
It's on a different slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I was covering the aspect about accuracy. So, like, what I would suggest to how to conquer this accuracy barrier is like you should just try to pick up easy questions first. So let's say you pick up a set of 50 questions or 100 questions, and those easy questions can be like you can refer, I think, official guide 12 and official guide 10 for the set of easy questions, or official guide 18. Whatever you can find, even I can share.
Like ये क्या हो रहा है?
someone really just doesn't want to attend the session.
Zoya, you are on mute.
I would just 2 मिनट मैं इसको ठीक करता हूँ. कौन है ये? मुझे क्या बताया?
Joy, can you try adjusting the permissions?
Joy, you are on mute, but I think I see some people are attendees, some are presenters now. तो बाकी सबके साथ भी कर दो if you want.
मतलब मैं ऑर्गेनाइजर नहीं बना सकता. आई कैन मेक अदर अटेंडेंस, तो वो कर रहा हूँ. ओके, तो आई थिंक वी कैन कंटिन्यू, क्योंकि मैंने आधे लोगों को तो अटेंडेंस बना दिया है ऑलमोस्ट. मे बी अभी जो वो कर रहा था वो नहीं कर पाया.
Okay. So I think I'll muster the courage. Can we try a Zoom maybe with limited permission? Because otherwise we won't be able to have this session. Joy, you are on mute.
अब मैंने कर दिया है लोगों को. I have made other attendees. अभी इनमें से कोई तो नहीं होना चाहिए. Like these are, हाँ ठीक है. Okay.
I think अभी भी कुछ presenters हैं.
Okay, these are SARC people, so they are here to manage the session. पर अभी वो कर नहीं रहे हैं. I have to do all the things. Okay,
अच्छा.
so now we can. I think we can start. अभी कोई नहीं करेगा.
Okay, I hope so.
हाँ, मजे लेते हैं यार.
Acha, so what was I talking about? Yeah. So I feel that you should start with doing a set of 100, like 50 to 100 questions at one go, and see if you are able to get all correct. So you, like, initially you should pick up only easy questions and do them in a timed manner. So let's say you pick OG 12, OG 18, or the forum quiz. You just have to select every question below, let's say 650 level, and ensure that you get all questions correct. And if you don't, you have to analyze uh, what exactly are you missing. So let's say you are doing a set of 50 questions, and at the 22nd to 27th question mark, you just like randomly made a lot of mistakes, or there was a lapse of concentration. So you have to go into the root cause as to why you are making such mistakes, even though you are thorough with the concepts. So getting your accuracy on point is very critical on this exam. So that holds true across sections. And the second point is time management. So time management is critical, especially in data insights and verbal sections, uh, because you can easily run out of time if you are not in check. The only way to do it is you have to break down all the sections into very small subsections. So let's say what I did was in quant, let's say you have 21 questions, 45 minutes. So I just broke it down to 7 questions, 15 minutes. That's it. And I'll just take a, let's say 15-second, 20-second break in between those seven questions. So that is how you can break down each section into subsections. So in similarly in verbal, you can think of it like 8 questions, 15 minutes for 3 times over. And that really helps because in like times where our screen times are very high, and a lot of things that we do have a shorter attention span, so it is very critical to think of all these sections into even smaller subsections. So that is the only way you can manage time. And lastly, I think I forgot to mention that this at the very start. So in the new GMAT Focus Edition, you can actually change your answers at the end. So at the end, you see a panel of questions, and you can just revisit all the questions, and you can change up to 3 answers on each of the sections. And why I am telling you this is because this again re-emphasizes the importance of time management. Because if you are able to squeeze out those 3 or 4 minutes, you can actually revisit some of the questions which you think or are doubtful about the answers. So that again proves to be very helpful in the exam and ensuring that you get a high score.
Yeah. Uh, so then moving on to the next question, which is what are the key difference between the old format and new format? Like where you have given the old format and you have given the new format. So what do you think the advantage of the new format is? Or क्या पहले वाला ज़्यादा advantages?
Sure, I think I can start with this, and maybe Amaya can pitch in wherever required. So the major differences, I think I highlighted this before as well. So in verbal section, the sentence correction part is removed. In quant, the geometry topics are removed. So those were the two most time-taking aspects during the preparation stage. Even some people actually prepared for geometry concepts because those, like, not it's not very easy to recall all the properties of, let's say, a parallelogram or something. So yeah, that also took up a lot of time. So that is also removed. Secondly, the IR section, the former IR section is now part of DI section, and this is scored as part of the main scale, whereas in the older edition, it was part of a separate scale of 8 in the exam. Now it's part of one of the 3 sections, and those 3 sections contribute to your 805 total score. So that is a major difference. And qualitatively, one thing I want to mention, now the exam has become more quant heavy, more good for people who have come from JE background or CAT background. So that is actually really helpful. So to like to conquer. And so personally, I believe for Indians, I think Focus Edition is a respite, and like Indians can score very high in the Focus Edition. Okay, so someone I think joined by the name of Garg Rohan, and then removed me. So again, an interesting thing to do.
Rohan, can you just turn on your camera? मतलब कौन सा वाला था? कौन सा वाला? Guest
हाँ
guest वाला कौन सा है? अच्छा, okay. हम्म,
जॉय, आई थिंक ये वाला सेक्शन नहीं हो पाएगा। वैसे हमने मोस्टली सारे एस्पेक्ट्स कवर कर ही लिए हैं जीमैट के।
हाँ भाई क्यों कर रहे हो यार ऐसा? ठीक है, यस। तो मोस्टली मैंने सबको अटेंडी बना दिया है, ठीक है। यू अमेया, अमेया मतलब कैन यू टर्न ऑन योर कैमरा? इज दिस द रियल अमेया एंड दूसरा वाला अमेया?
Yeah, I think if for new joiners also, I think you can do कि new joiners become attendees. If that's something that you can do, तो उससे वो लोग attendees होंगे. But यार otherwise जो भी कर रहा था good command over teams, बकचोद knowledge etc. But यार नहीं करना तो मत करो यार, मतलब attend, it's fine. And yeah, I mean I understand that you're smart, I recognize you and everything, but let's just appreciate people who are doing this at 9 p.m. In the evening, especially after they are working tomorrow morning. So let's just respect that.
Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, so broadly I've covered the differences. If Amaya wants to pitch in, then surely he can.
No, yeah, I think makes sense the differences between the old format and the new format. Another thing that I realized is that you can now change a few answers. So that was something that was not available in the previous format. I think that is also very helpful. All in all, I think from what Rohan is saying, it's very helpful for the IIT and engineering candidates. So you should definitely give it if there's a slight chance that you want to give this exam and go for a foreign MBA. You should definitely give it.
There are some smaller differences as well, not per se in the topics or the exam, but more so how you report the score. So now you only report your actual score that you, let's say you are giving your second attempt and you think of sending that score. So only that score is reported and not the complete history of your score. So people are usually worried that you have to cancel your score because that historical score actually gets reported to the B school. But now that worry is also not there. So you don't have to cancel any of your score. You just report whatever you want to, and yeah, only that score is visible to the B school.
So yeah, moving on to the next questions. Okay, मतलब CAT versus GMAT, मतलब बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में ये रहता है कि should we do MBA abroad या फिर इंडिया में, या so what are the key differences between GMAT and CAT? और yeah, मतलब not just exam wise, बाकी आगे भी जैसे applying for MBA and all that.
I think the most straightforward difference is CAT is used for specifically for Indian B schools and more so specifically for IIMs uh, in India, and GMAT is used for schools abroad as well as Indian School of Business. So that is one major difference. Secondly, in terms of the application process as well, like overall in CAT, your weightage on your CAT score is pretty high as compared to, let's say, a GMAT, because like there are 6 to 7 different things also that are being evaluated by the B school. So GMAT just become one of the component of your evaluation, whereas like CAT is just like a blanket filter from the mass population. So that is Hi, Joy. I'm surprised that some people, like out of 15, Joy, you are muted.
I think I need some time to manage permissions. ये पता नहीं क्यों हो रहा है. And
Joy, do you want to continue or we can just end the session here? Because either we want a
uh, um, I मतलब I want to continue the session. मैं पूरा session cover ही करना ही है. लेकिन I think we should shift to another platform जिसके अंदर हम लोग ऐसे ये कोई बकचोदी ना कर पाए ये वाली. So yeah.
Do you want me to share a Zoom link?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Are you sharing or should I share?
No, you only share. So if you're sharing, तुम link. ठीक है, मतलब I'll post in groups जो भी बाकी लोग attend कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर.
Okay, give me a moment.
Okay. So we are shifting to another platform. I'll be sharing the link in the groups. और हाँ, so मतलब इसके आगे का session will be carrying on Zoom only. Yeah, the link will be shared in the groups. Okay, so the session we are ending the meet over here and shifting to Zoom.